So nearby, Brad and Nisha, like in the reverse casting couch situation where you guys are sat on my sofa watching me record. What is your favourite moment in a Disney Pixar film? Wow.
I've just thought
I give you 5 minutes.
I thought of one, I'm just like, I can't remember if it was DreamWorks or not.
Let's try that again. So nearby, Brad and
I
Nisha.
don't know if it's DreamWorks or
That's
not.
what film?
Cloudy.
That's DreamWorks.
That's definitely not
Okay,
Pixar.
I'll rephrase that.
Just not.
Let me think about it.
So nearby, Brad and Nisha, who are currently in the reverse casting couch situation, being sat on a leather sofa watching me record a video. What's your favourite animated film moment?
I really like in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, where
Just
the
whole thing.
I just have no yeah, the whole thing I think is really good, but I just forgot his name then. Flintlock Wood
Yes.
makes that
Just
giant the giant jelly for Sam, and they go inside the giant jelly. I just think that looks so cool.
Yes.
So crisp.
Flint?
As we've discussed before on this channel, like a lot, the animators working for Disney and Disney Pixar are really, really good at their job and frequently get asked to do things by their higher-ups that are literally not possible with the technology available to them at the time. And to their credit, the animators very nearly always pull these things off, with one notable exception. That time the animators working on The Incredibles were asked to turn a baby into goo, and we're all like, fuck that. And also I should mention that today's video is not sponsored, but we have something to announce. This is a special delivery I got from our friends over at Psycho and then Line, how do you pronounce that second word? Apparel. those guys, like, they have sent us new designs for a new t-shirt.
Oh, you always said apparel, didn't you?
I do, yeah. So we have that, and we'll be opening that at the end of the video. And I don't know what's in here because they've taken some artwork I commissioned by a fan and friend of the channel, redesigning the Fiend logo that's on screen, much in the same way that they did with the Knowledge Demon. So we've got that thing there. So they've done that, taken that concept in their own unique art style. So we'll see what the results is at the end of the video. And I know I say the line, we've talked about this before, but we've literally talked about this before, haven't we? Because one of our most popular videos is about Violet from The Incredibles.
Yeah, we talked about the technology they had to invent to make the hair work.
Yes, and how much of a ball ache it was for animators behind the scenes to figure out how to realise the character of Violet, to the point where there was quotes from people working behind the scenes like, we didn't know it was even possible to accomplish what Brad Bird, the director, wanted for the character, because they tried to do the numerous tricks that exist to render and realise a character with long hair, such as, like, giving her a ponytail or a tight bun, something that I've seen affectionately referred to as the PS2 hair. Are you familiar with that concept, the PS2 hair?
I know about the PS3 hair, that was just shaven heads.
Yeah, but like the PS2 hair is like when you want to give someone with long hair, you give them just like one big polygon and a ponytail.
Spirits, give me strength.
Round 1. Fight.
We do have a special guest off camera who we can't name for legal reasons, but can you maybe speak to like how difficult it is to render hair?
No.
Is that for legal reasons or you just don't know?
No.
Okay, so just people don't know there's two things that are largely regarded as the most difficult things to animate. That is hair and that is clothing. And The Incredibles is chock full of both.
Your sword can stretch as far as you can without injuring yourself, and still retain its shape. Virtually indestructible. Yet it breathes like Egyptian cotton.
For anyone thinking, it can't be that difficult, as I said, just go back and look at old games and pieces of media with people with long hair, and you'll see that almost all the time their hair looks like shit or they have a ponytail. And I don't think anything sums up better than John's hair from Bayonetta 2. And have you ever seen John's hair in Bayonetta 2?
No.
Not me, no.
Another day in the life, Cereza. Maybe you should try being nice to Enzo for a change.
Okay, well I'm going to put a clip in and people are going to see, yeah, rendering long hair is fucking difficult. It's like, Sephiroth, she ain't. I'm just going to put it that way.
I can't speak to it in video games, but obviously from a visual effects and computer generated like background, I've done hair and cloth simulations before, and they take fucking forever.
It's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, because obviously the computer has to calculate how the physics will contort around various objects.
And it's one of those great ironies about technology that the hardest things for technology to replicate are usually the most mundane and therefore the least impressive.
As viewers, we have an intuitive understanding for how clothes should move on a body. And if simulation does its job, those cloth dynamics will look natural on screen.
For example, have you ever seen like the trouble they've had trying to get AI to define what a chair is? Because like the other thing, you can look at something and you look at it, it's like, that's a chair. But think about how many different things could be a chair. And there's like these breakdowns online from like experts on AI, like we can't get AI to work out what a chair is. It's like they'll look at pictures of a horse and say, well, that's a chair. It has 4 legs and you can sit on it. That's a chair. And it's like humans can instinctually make that distinction, but AI can't. And it's the same thing with animation of hair and clothes. The 2 things that everybody is familiar with. Like everyone wears clothes. Everyone sees people with hair every day. Computers cannot realise it.
I don't think I could define a chair. I know when I see one, I know what it was.
Yeah.
But so many chairs have different numbers of legs or no legs. Or,
Exactly, yeah.
Like, yeah, you could just.
It's like, this is not, well, it's robotics. Wasn't there like a clip of like a robot struggling to get up the stairs?
Yeah, climbing stairs, yeah.
Because that's like, seems simple to us, but the robot can't understand the stairs.
And that's just another example of technology absolutely failing to replicate something that humans can do on a near instinctual level. And in regards to animation, The Incredibles is widely regarded as one of the most like balls out, like, you know, pointing to the stands moves Disney has ever made. Because when Brad Bird pitched it and the animators got wind of what he was trying to do, they were like, if you had 10 years and $500 million, you couldn't realise what you want.
Showed them.
Ah, jeez.
Hurry, honey, or you'll be late for work!
And would you like to hazard a guess at what in the movie like animators were just like looking at and going, there's no way you can realise this, except for, you know, clothes and hair, which we've discussed.
Like the superhero stuff, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
stretching and...
Goo baby.
Goo Baby's one of
Well,
I can. You know what the answer is? Everything.
Oh, okay.
And there is a quote from someone who worked on the movie. I think they're the technical director or something like that for special effects. They were asked straight up, like, what was the most difficult thing to like realise in The Incredibles? And they just thought for a second and went, well, the most difficult thing is that there was no most difficult thing. Everything was the most difficult thing. We had everything in animation that's considered an absolute fucking ball ache to realise and render realistically in the same film, usually in the same scene. We had
Syndrome's hair.
yeah, we had hair, they had clothes, they had like, you know, deformation physics, like, you know, Mr. Incredible, he's like lifting up cars and stuff like that. They had explosions, they had smoke, they had clouds,
Frozen, it was
they had ice, they had fire, they had all sorts. And like, you know, Disney is no stranger to literally inventing new technology to realise stuff like this. We've talked before about, you know, for Toy Story 4, they created AI spiders to make cobwebs because that was easier than making cobwebs on their own. For Frozen, for example, you mentioned ice and snow. They invented a proprietary technology to render snow and ice, which then I think they licensed out to a government somewhere to help them like predict what avalanches would do. That's how realistic it was. And then on a more abstract level, you have stuff like Monsters Inc. They brought in experts on heavy animal locomotion to teach them how a figure like Sully would move in a realistic manner, and then had to develop an animation technique for the muscles beneath his skin, which is, you know, his digital skin, which is covered in digital fur, would move if there was an animal that existed that had his proportions. It's fucking ridiculous. It's so stupid.
You mentioned as well, because obviously clothes were quite difficult to animate. I bet they were happy that they were superheroes because they wear tight-fitting clothes.
They
would
do,
be
yes.
much easier to animate than flowing clothes.
Yeah, and you might think that that's, say, like, you know, a cop-out from the animators there. Like, well, no, let's put me, like, think, no capes, because capes, flap in the wind.
Stratogale, April 23rd, 57. Cape caught in a jet turbine.
You can't generalize about this.
Meltaman, express elevator. Dyna guy, snag on takeoff. Splashdown, sucked into a vortex. No kicks. No, go on.
It's like nothing they did was a compromise, and Brad Bird saw to that. In fact, there was only one thing they compromised on, that was gooifying a baby. Everything else he insisted that they do, and everything they tried to fight him on, he's like, fuck you, do it. For example, like The Incredibles features more locations than animated films normally have, which means they had to have double the amount of locations they'd normally have in an animated film. And the animator's like, we can't do it. It's like, fuck you, do it. And it resulted in the team that made the film being cut in two, And one team would work on locations, the other team would work on special effects and character models, and then the team that was working on that got split further to work on the special effects that were caused by the things that other team were making. And they'd never done that with a film before.
But what about the goo baby though?
Yeah, so you know Jack in the film has like multiple superpowers, and that's kind of like the joke.
Yeah, he's meant to have like, it's like a morphing power that can take on different attributes of different things.
Yeah, because he's like, a super-powered baby who's like the result of like, one super-powered individual, like, getting busy with another one.
Like, his name, like, Jack is like Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
So.
Which is like, one of those things like, you think about it, you go, I see what you're doing there, I see what you're doing. But, can you name the transformations that he goes through?
Yeah, so he turns into metal at one point, he sets on fire, he turns into a monster, he can go invisible, he can spray lasers from his eyes.
That's in the second film.
Yeah.
In the first film, do you remember what exactly he does? So that's about it, yeah?
I think so, yeah, just shifting between different forms.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 forms. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know there's one form that he doesn't have, and that's turning into goo. One of the ideas he had was for Jack to turn to goo, so he would literally form through Syndrome's fingers, and the animator just went, no, we're not doing that. He was like, what do you mean you're not doing that? And he looked, and like the animator just like he calculated how long it took. Look, if we would need an entire team of people and 2 months just to figure out how to do this, let alone realize it. We do not have the resources, time, or manpower. And Brad Bird's like, but do it though.
Like, by this point, like, this is what Incredibles is 2000 and somewhere around that region, but Terminator 2 has the liquid metal effect, and that's relatively the same thing. So why was that one so difficult?
Well, it'd be translucent as well. Remember?
Why isn't they wanted like see-through goo?
Well, yeah, it'd be translucent goo that's being physically interacted with by another character in the scene. Like the liquid metal Terminator is a very impressive effect, but the liquid metal Terminator, the effect, like, so Arnold Schwarzenegger punches it, does not look great. That doesn't look great, and it's not translucent as well, so you can't see through it. And they could probably figure out. And I said they could have done, but it would take them 2 months, and they put their foot down. Like, we're not gooifying this baby. And then Brad was like, "But do it though." Like, but we don't want to. He's like, "But do it though." It's like, we can't. This is the one. We're gonna put our foot down on this one thing. He's like, "Fine. I don't want to gooify the baby." And then Incredibles 2 happened. And what did Jack do?
Everything. Pretty much. I remember there was one bit where he like went through walls and stuff because
Yeah.
he went outside to fight that raccoon.
Yeah. But Jody also does.
Does he turn to goo?
He turns to goo. Yeah.
Of course.
Do you remember when we talked about this previously, like with Violet's hair, and then for the second film, they put in the shot of Violet like with the hairdryer as a flex on everyone who said there's no way they can top what they do to the first one. That was another thing that kind of went like under the radar that no one noticed or gave a shit about because the Violet thing was so impressive. So even though they literally invented like several new like animation techniques to render that Jack scene, no one gave a fuck, including us when we did our video on it the first time.
Yeah, I bet they had so much fun with that second film with all this technology. It's like, well, we could do everything now.
Yeah.
Everyone can be goo.
Everyone can be goo. It's like, yeah, what is it? It's like, yeah, when
everyone's goo, no one is.
I still love that bit as well, where like I invented the ability to fly. What do you do with it? I don't know. Fucking finger a sphere into a skyscraper and say what?
Is that Byronic?
Ironic?
No, Byronic has a different outfit.
No, I'm a new superhero.
I feel like, I know that obviously superheroes are banned, but if Syndrome had just become a superhero, like, because they banned people, like, I don't know if they banned superheroes who had powers, but they didn't ban people just doing that. So could he not have just been a superhero? Why did he have to go on the villain route?
I think he was salty with Mr. Incredible, wasn't he? Because he told, I can't remember the words exactly, but he like basically was like, "Go home, buddy."
When he says you don't have any powers, do you?
Yeah,
it's
he
dangerous to
basically
you.
made him feel like shit, so he was like, "Well, I'm gonna get revenge on you."
But what better way of getting revenge than just to be better than him?
Yeah, no, then there'd be no film.
Do you know why, Brad? Because fuck you. But we've got something special to announce, haven't we?
I'm excited.
We've got a package here from our friends over at Psycho, and I don't know what's in here. All I know...
Psycho. Apparel.
You say it for me. Psycho.
Apparel.
There we go. Which one's the right one?
Apparel.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparel's what
Okay.
you said.
Apparel's what you said.
Okay, and I don't know exactly what is in here. I just know their in-house designers have taken what I sent them and turned it into some merch. And there are 2 potential designs in here that you, our audience, can choose between. And there will be a poll running on the community tab when this video goes live. That'll be linked below, and you can decide which one you'd like. And there'll be a limited run at some point in the future, which we'll announce in a video at some point, like over the next month or so. And as mentioned, the artist we got to design this followed the same criteria as Psycho themselves did when they created the Knowledge Demon, of taking the Fiend idea and then using their own art style and imagination to realize it. And do you know what they came up with? So we had Fiend, Knowledge Demon. And I'll give you a clue, it's partially inspired by D&D.
Information pervert.
No, that's my idea. They came up with the idea of the Keeper of the Forbidden Knowledge. There's like a D&D style box. I'm going to open this one, I'm so excited. I don't know what's in here.
Don't mess this take up because you can only do this
We
one.
can only get one take, can't we? Oh,
Don't lose the footage.
I hope so they fit. Oh god. Oh, actually, they said they're sending 2 designs, but they're sending like 4 t-shirts, I think.
He's dropped one on the floor.
Yeah, I've got one on the floor, so that's 1. That's 1. Oh, this looks so good. You know what, we'll just go through them all. There we go. Wait a minute. Oh no, I'm covering up the microphone. Huh? There we go. So, the Keeper of the Forbidden Knowledge. So that is like a D&D style boss. And what you can't see there is, of the detail, that the Keeper of the Forbidden Knowledge is a floating flaming eyeball made of books. And what Psycho have done, because they are absolute fucking legends, is they've got a guy on their staff or someone they know who's really, really into D&D. And they have created a D&D style character sheet for the Keeper of the Forbidden. I don't know which one's different. We can find the differences when we go through them later. But they've created a D&D style character sheet that you can slot into your game. And that will be like an extra bonus people can get. And we're not sure if we're going to do it as like a physical bonus, or you'll just get like, a big high quality printout that you can make for yourself, and you can make it at home, put it into your campaign. But you can create the Keeper of the Forbidden fucking knowledge. So cool. I love that we can do this shit. Let's just put one on. Is there one in medium? I'm a medium. Soft style. What's me? That's
Take it off.
Nope. Did you send me a medium? I said on medium. That's a medium. Fuck yeah. What's that? No, stop.
Ooh, we get the show. Oh,
Stop saying that.
didn't know you had that tattoo.
Shut up. Frame. Whew. Fuck yeah.
That looks good.
I hope it looks good, yeah. And if you would like one of these shirts, I said we'll be doing a limited run in a couple of months. But yeah, if you want to help us decide which of the designs, I can't see the specific difference in the detail. I don't know why. It must be like the 3 shots I put in here, but I am very excited. I also love the idea as well. They created the D&D character sheet for us. You can beat the Keeper of the Forbidden Knowledge. You can go beat that thing up, and it's got like stats and everything. It's great.
Yeah, it's a very long time in the making at the moment, but we are planning to do at some point a tabletop RPG stream. Yeah,
I know what the final boss is going to be.
Well, you've spoiled it a little bit, but we were. It was held up by just work, and then at the moment Lucas is away, so maybe we'll try and sync it up with the release of the t-shirts. We could do something like that.
And one of the things that I love about running this channel is that I can do stuff like this. If I can just, something, and I say, one of the things that I love about this channel is that my dumb idea, like 5 years ago, to write silly articles on the internet and turn them into videos, has resulted in the creation of like legitimately awesome pieces of artwork that I am tangentially related to. Like, I don't consider myself to be in any way related to this, besides like, it's inspired by an idea that I had, but I'm still involved in that. That's so rad. And for anyone wondering, yes, we've got many more ideas in the pipeline, including someone who wants to do like an anime girl redesign of the thing. I'm like, that's going to be a fun one too. But yeah, if you're an fiend, you want to redesign the Fiend logo in your own signature style, reach out on social media. I would love to hear your ideas and potentially do a collaboration with you in the future.
Make the information pervert, you cowards.
Perfect. Oh, that's super rad, aren't they? You think?